Welcome to Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston, PhD. Glenn has held his doctorate in psychology for more than 30 years and is also a former multi-million-dollar consultant to the big food industry and uses his experience to help you defeat your cravings. This show will help you to focus on dramatically reducing cravings and leave the diet mentality behind, so you can more easily and effortlessly achieve your health, fitness, and body composition goals. Please remember, no doctor-patient relationship is created via this show, and you are responsible for confirming any changes to your diet, health, or psychological routines with an appropriately licensed professional before implementing them. Now, before we get started, if you haven't yet downloaded the free smartphone app to access dozens of these recordings all in one place, as well as to avail yourself of a confidential community for support, motivation, and assistance, please visit the podcast link on defeatyourcravings.com as soon as possible. And now, here's your host, Dr. Glenn Livingston.
So, hey, it's the very good Dr. Glenn Livingston, and I'm here with a kind-hearted woman named Tiffany, who's agreed to let me record this so you can benefit from her trials and tribulations and successes and observations and experience and strength and hope and wisdom and humor and everything in between. Right, Tiffany?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you give me a summary about your life and then what happened?
Okay, so I was born and raised in the South, Southern Alabama, up until age 16, and then moved with my family north to Delaware. Growing up around that Southern home cooking and everything, not everything, but most celebrations centered around Southern foods and different Southern delicacies.
Street crab soup and pecan pie. That's what I remember.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's just the start.
Yeah. It's easy to get fat in the South. It's really easy. Yeah.
Very, very. No, and then combine that with some sort of problem with eating, which, as a kid, I didn't know. Actually, I didn't know at all, really, until, so if I'm 46 now, probably it's the past couple of years where I identified it as, this has to be binging. This is classic binge eating. But I didn't know it in my early 40s, 30s, 20s, teens. And for me, I think my earliest memories was middle school, 6th grade, 7th grade. And I say that time because when I look back, I do remember, couldn't wait to get to my grandparents' house. And the first thing I always did was run in the kitchen and get some Little Debbie's oatmeal cream pies.
Yeah.
My grandfather loved those. And I, of course, grew to love them too. Peppermint candies, he kept peppermint candies around, and popsicles, treats and more treats. And what I could never figure out was, here I am, I'm raised with siblings. I'm the oldest of 4, raised around a bunch of cousins. We were babysat by the same people, which meant we ate the same thing, but I could never understand, why am I bigger and we're all eating the same thing?
Why was that? Just genetics?
I think it was probably genetics and hormones, because when I think back on it, puberty was around that time. And just for me, I noticed a lot of eating as well as a lot of gaining in the middle, even as a preteen.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's a combination of that. But the problem is it never stopped.
So when did it start to really bother you? When did you try to do something about it?
So I've dieted off and on since start of college, through my 20s, through my 30s, especially after I had my child. And I don't know, just dieted off and on. But really, again, past 2 years is when it has really become serious for me, because I'm like, okay, I have gained weight for the second time, 100 pounds overweight, the second time. Mm-hmm. So that's when it has gotten my attention. And really fast forward to the beginning of this year was the Amazon link to your ebook. That's when I'm like, oh my goodness. Wow, this is the answer for me.
How come?
Because I'm an analytical thinker. I like research. I like reading. I like understanding the physiological process of stuff. Like, I need stuff to make sense for me.
Got it.
So when I read your book and it talked about that voice, because I kept this to myself for so long. I never shared it with family or friends because I didn't know if anybody would understand. Do you hear that voice that tell you, oh, you may as well go eat? Or you tried this diet, it's too hard, it ain't working. Or you may as well finish this off. I'm like, I don't even know if anybody else hears this, or is it just me? So when I read your book and you put an answer on it, I said, oh my gosh, this is it. This is that thing. I thought I didn't have willpower. I'm like, I hear friends and family say, you just got to be consistent. You just got to be. I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm going to be consistent. And then weeks down the line, it's out the window. I just thought there was just something I was lacking. And reading your book, I'm like, this is it. This lizard brain pig has been in charge for all these years, and I just really never knew.
Was the book enough when you read the book? Did it make a difference?
Initially, yes, because I read it. I'm like, this is it. I was excited. I did the things on my own. And then the country shut down in the middle of March. And everybody with the mad rush to the grocery store.
Get toilet paper.
Yes, toilet paper and snacks, right? Forget meals, toilet paper and snacks. So here I go. I'm like, me and my daughter, here we are, we're at home. I got to go stock up with food. And it's so funny because the first thing she said, like during those first 2 weeks of those shut-in, she said, Mom, you have never bought this much food before. I said, I know. She said, our kitchen has never been stocked like this before. I was like, I know, we need food. And Glenn, from there, from March to May, I probably put on the weight that I lost from January to March, plus an additional 5 pounds.
So the concept in the book really worked for you, but then like so many other people, you got caught up with the pandemic and the fear-based eating that everybody was doing. It has a lot to do with food scarcity and all the constant bathing of our amygdalas and the primary fear response. And then you turned to a program to help you.
Absolutely. And that was a huge step for me because even with reading the book, I'm so grateful that you offered it as a free ebook, because prior to actually joining the intensive, my mindset was, and this is probably coming from that lower brain thinking, was I have spent so much money in the past, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars on different programs, different cleanses, different workshops. I've flown over to Arizona for 3 weeks for a cleanse program, and I've done all this. I'm like, I'm not spending another dime on anything related to health and weight loss. But then I stepped back and I did your assignment about how much you spend on binge food.
You figured out how much you're spending every year on binge food.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I'm like, oh, so if I was to just not binge, I would pay for this program in a week. Just a week of not binging, that would pay for the program, and I would still have a savings.
You were spending $100 a week?
Average, yeah. Look, that's minimal. That's minimal. Yeah.
Gotcha. A lot of people are. The average is $4,300 a year that people are spending on binge food.
What's that average to about a month?
I think it's like, well, we have to divide by 12. So 350 something per month, something like that.
Okay, so I'm not too far off from that. I'm not too far off. And like I said, that's minimal. I did the figures. I could have been underestimating because my binge frequency, my pattern of binging, it was bad. Like I was not one to have a binge episode and go a month or two. Mine was constant eating, like from morning, breakfast, snack, 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 lunch, snack, 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 dinner, snack, snack, snack.
I feel you, sister. I was there.
It was bad.
Yeah. So you figured that you kicked the installment plan, it was only $100 a month, and you could afford it just by saving the money on the binge food. So then what happened?
The intensive program for June started. So I started and I just jumped right in. I'm a nurse, and just having to stay on top of my nursing skills, my nursing practice, it has taught me to be a lifelong learner. So when I joined this program, I jumped head in like I'm a student in school. Like I'm here, teacher, here I am. What do I need to learn? What do I need to read? Whatever I need to do, I'm gonna do, because I have been there, I have done that. My health has suffered, not just health, but other areas of my life. So that was my mindset going in. Now, the pig still, like everyone else in the first 2 weeks or so, threw a fit, squeals, but just following what you told us to do, what's laid out, how to refute, and everything just turned my life around. And I have not had a massive binge in we coming up on 2 months.
Oh, that's fantastic. What was it about the program? Was it the groups? Was it your coach? Was it the assignments? What was it that made all the difference?
The two primary things for me, the assignments, as well as my coach, Coach K, which shout out to Coach K, love her. Haven't never met her, but I love her.
You know what? I've never met her either, but I love her too.
Because I've never had accountability. For all these years, I thought, number one, I didn't need accountability. This is a personal problem. I should be able to personally fix it. And then number two, and looking back, because of how much I failed, I'm like, I don't want any kind of accountability, because having to deal with failure by myself is enough. I don't want to drag someone else into this roller coaster. And so I don't want to be a part of anything where I have to be accountable to anybody. So when I signed up for this program, started the assignments, and had a coach, I knew that this is probably going to be a game changer for me.
You couldn't bear to let someone else down? Is that why?
Yes, absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We think of accountability not as a lifelong thing, but as a kind of a training wheels to get people up and moving and riding the bike on their own. Then we slowly withdraw it. But it's really interesting what you're saying. There are a lot of people who are happy to let themselves down. They're happy to talk to themselves negatively. But when you get them involved in a constructive relationship with a coach, they can't keep doing that. That's what makes all the difference. So that's a really interesting perspective you're going through. So the accountability made a big difference. Is there anything else that made a difference?
Again, because I love to read and I'm such an analytical person, I really enjoy sitting down doing the assignments, the mastery challenges, the tasks. I scheduled them in. I'm telling you, I approached this like I had paid for graduate school. You know, school isn't cheap. So my approach was, I need to get everything out of this. If I'm paying for it, and all of the coaches who do the Q&As, I'm like, if you all are putting forth this time for us, I have to put my time in as well. So that's why I took all the tasks seriously, the assignments, the refutations. Even when I didn't feel like doing them, I'm like, listen, where's my phone? Let me do it from my phone or paper or a piece of scratch paper.
That's
I found
great.
a piece of scratch paper on my bedside table. My husband and daughter see little notes in there. They're so used to my notes. They're just like, this is some of mom's stuff. Just put out a stash of notes over here.
You know, I love people like you because I feel like we found a way through the forest. It works. I know that it works. I watch people walk through it all the time. I'm 100% sure that it works. I just got to get people to follow me. And I can't carry them. I mean, we carry them somewhat with the group calls and the accountability. But if people won't engage, if they won't make a simple rule, if they won't do a refutation, then I just can't help. And so it's so frustrating for me. So I love people like you that say, okay, give me all you got.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you know, Glenn, also too is that, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, because if we would have had this conversation 20 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to say this. And I think perhaps I am here and where I am too, and took this program by the horns and ran with it, is because I had reached my bottom. I had reached the bottom of the barrel when it comes to my health and my weight. I'm like, it could get worse, but if it got any worse than where I'm at now, my life is literally.
But you know what, Tiffany, there's a little bit of a danger in that notion. Because if you adopt the philosophy that you're not going to recover until you hit your bottom, then your pig will say, we have some more digging to do.
Oh, I see what you're
Maybe
saying.
we're not quite there yet, right?
Yeah.
And the truth is, you can recover at any point. If I'd caught you 20 years ago when you just started all this stuff and you weren't suffering so much, if you were willing to go through this and you said, you know what, I'm getting a little out of hand, I'm eating a little beyond my own best judgment, and I really shouldn't be doing this, we could have stopped a lot of the damage. You don't have to find the absolute bottom before you recover. And I want people to know that. It's really important. It's true that a lot of people will tolerate the addiction until they can't tolerate it anymore. It's true that a lot of people will do that, but you don't have to.
I see. Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So is there any particular rule that worked really well for you? Is there any particular conversation with Kay that helped you out a lot, that was a turning point?
I have basically two rules, because where I come from when I started, I'm like, I need a victory. I need some success because I have failed so much. And my one simple rule is, and this is what it started with, and this is what it still is, which is minimum every 4 hours, have a plate of food. And the reason I needed that simple rule was because I was eating so much, I needed to arrest the eating, the constant eating. So I need to create a rule to where I can have food, satisfying, filling foods every 4 hours and be satisfied. That worked for me in the past when I tried different eating plans. And I'm like, now that I have the awareness of the pig and my part and what I need to do, that's where I have to start. So that rule alone stopped the constant eating. And then after the first few weeks, after seeing my nurse practitioner doctor, she wanted me to increase my hydration. So my second rule was daily 13 to 16 cups of water each day, except for travel days when I have to long travels by car or plane. I aim for like 8 cups a day.
So you evened out your blood sugar. You got off the feast and famine roller coaster. You ate on a regular basis and you kept yourself hydrated. And lo and behold, those two things made a big difference.
Just those two things.
Yeah.
Everything else is like extra. When I go out for walks, I'm not doing no crazy hours upon hours of working out that I used to do. I just enjoy walks with my family or myself. And all those things are just bonuses because after the first several weeks, I now have energy to do those other things.
So you decided to get off the crazy train. You normalized your blood sugar. You normalized your hydration. Was there ever a time when the pig tried to talk you out of all this?
Oh, gosh, yes. Yes, early on. And again, thank God for Kay. She would read my refutations and cheer me on. The nighttime. And I know this is a big one for a lot of us because I see it on the boards too. You know, when I have my final meal of the day, I'm satisfied, I'm happy, and I'm sitting there and the pig could just go, you should eat something. You know,
just
a little
just a little more. Just a little more.
Yeah, just a little. So I'm satisfied. So why are you even suggesting? And over time, I'm like, how crazy is that? And I would do my refutations and be done.
I'm just curious what refutation worked for you.
For me, I think the most common one that worked was when the pig squeals about, you know, it's healthy food. So it's okay if you have a little more. And the refutation that worked for me was, it doesn't matter what kind of food it is. I don't care if it's a healthy carrot, watermelon, or a Snickers bar. If it's outside of my food plan, I'm not eating that at this time. And I tell myself, I eat according to my food plan, not according to the voice of pigs. And therefore, I am not going to binge now, and I'm not going to binge again.
There you go. There you go. What's healthy is eating according to your food plan. And what's unhealthy is eating off your food plan.
Yes.
If you should decide that you need more carrots, you know, late at night as a snack or something, you would have to sit down and write out why and decide you're going to change your food plan. You'd save a copy and you could start that in 24 hours or 48 hours, but never at the moment. It's the key difference between emotional and impulsive eating versus planned intellectual eating. If you look at all of the dangerous food triggers and food situations in your life, and you gain the ability to make planned decisions about that, then you can recover. Then it doesn't necessarily matter what food plan you're on. You can adjust it until you get what you want to out of your body and your life, and you can recover. If you allow the pig to make you a slave to your impulses and a slave to your emotions, then you're stuck in Pigville. So, Tiffany, we have another couple of minutes. Is there anything that I should have asked you that I didn't ask you?
I just want to add on with the food rules. Now, another rule that I did initially make, but right now I'm going to say it's pending because I see my doctor the end of next week and I'm going to discuss this with her, is the one about moderating carbs, because I had tried to make a low carb rule because, again, low carb works for me. It keeps my blood sugar stable and helps me still reach my health and weight loss goals. Yesterday on the Q&A, suggested that perhaps I experienced like strong urge, but it didn't have a voice with it, like a few days ago. And it was off and on all day. And long story short, I got on the Q&A, and when I told him perhaps it was just my body craving more carbs, could be because maybe I'm restricting too much. So long story short, I am gonna revisit that rule because I know a lot of people in the groups and on the Facebook page lean low carb. And I have fruits and vegetables ample in my diet, but it still may be a little bit too restrictive at this time.
Talk to a nutritionist or a medical doctor about it and figure out where you could be. We do see that a lot in the ultra low carb dieting area. We do see that people have stronger cravings and it's harder for them to refute the pig. Sometimes a very modest adjustment. Maybe it's a difference between 20 and 30 carbs a day or something. Sometimes a modest adjustment makes all the difference. So, we don't have the licenses or the expertise to tell you exactly what that should be, but we can tell you we've had that experience over and over again. So I think it's good that you're going to be talking to someone and revisiting that.
Yeah, definitely am.
Tiffany, is there anything you wanted to ask me? Any way I can help you?
Not at this time. Again, I'm just so grateful and thankful for you for writing this book, for your experience and just sharing this with us and helping the rest of us out. So I feel like I'm in total gratitude to you.
Well, I'm in total gratitude for you for taking this crazy philosophy and running to the bank with it and making it work for you and helping me spread the word to others. So, okay then. Well, can we follow up with you in a couple of months and see how you're doing?
Please do. Please. Anybody listening, please. Now I want the accountability. I want people to say, hey, Tiff, you did the interview with Glenn. I was just checking to see how you're doing. Are you still refuting that pig?
Okay. You guys all hear that out there?
Yes, please find me. I'm on Facebook. I'm in the groups.
Well, you can bookmark the blog where we put this out on the podcast page, and you can find her in the Facebook group. Do you want to give the first letter of your last name because there's a bunch of Tiffany's?
Yes. So my Facebook name is Tiffany Paul, Paul, and then Ford, Ford.
Tiffany Paul Ford.
Yes.
That sounds like you should run for president.
No, thank you. I'll just say that before we go off into another conversation.
Okay, Tiffany Paul Ford. Well, thank you so much. And for everybody listening, thanks so much. Until next time, this is the very good Dr. Glenn Livingston saying, sometimes a teacher, always a student, and go out and make your pigs miserable. Thanks.
And that brings us to the end of today's broadcast of Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston. Now, if you'd like to find out more about the products and services Dr. Glenn offers to help you dramatically reduce your cravings and stop overeating in 90 days or less, please visit defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. That's defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. Thanks.